One of the things that I really love about Mind Oasis is that we can show up just as we are. And if you look closely here, I look tired, and I am tired. I've been traveling. And so showing up this morning to talk about going inward was really appropriate, right? I had to change the timing of the class because I realized that I wasn't going to have a good internet connection through my travel. I got in last night after eating kind of weird food, travel food, and didn't feel all that great. And 30 minutes before our session here, remembered that I had the session. And I'm sharing all of this with you because this is how we get knocked out of the realm of calm, right? We have life happen. And when life happens, a lot of times, and for many of us, myself included, it can have us feel uncentered, without ground, like sort of a groundless feeling. But with a little bit of examination, there isn't a whole lot of ground for us to hold on to anyway. And by ground, a word you could use instead would be control. We want to control our lives because it feels scary to be out of control. And also because along the way as adults, we've been taught that we need to have control, right? That first time you have a breakdown, a mental breakdown, trauma happens as a kid, and you're told to get control over your emotions, right? Don't be too emotional. Don't show up and be too much. Or if you are a too much kind of person, people around you are telling you, to get it under control and to rein it in. Sometimes even when we're having a joyful moment, right? If we're being too loud at a restaurant, one of our colleagues or a parent or a friend will say, everybody's looking at us, get it under control. But we've all lived long enough to know that there is very little control that we have in this world. And so while we think that calm is some state of being that is perhaps a natural state of being, I would argue that you kind of have to go through the chaos in order to really understand calm. So I'm Karuna. I'm the founder and executive director of Mind Oasis. This is part 2 of a 5-part series that we're doing this month at the Meditation Center. It's a part of our October theme, which is called Going Inward. And the book that we're using is Yung Pueblo's Inward. It's a book of short snippets designed to help us, be inspired. Yung Pueblo goes through all sorts of different ways of being in order to go inward. So let's go ahead and have a practice. So taking a good seat. And just as a small review, what does that mean? Well, we like to think of meditation as a open-hearted, strong back practice. So just feeling the strength of your spine, maybe rolling your shoulders up and back and feeling the open-heartedness of the heart space, crown extending towards the sky, sits bones rooted on the surface that you're seated on. And then we'll take just 1 minute here. And it's a noticing of the movement and sound of the day so far versus stillness and silence, just for 1 minute. And then following this theme of calm, we'll take 3 full satisfying breaths here, in through the nose, a pause at the top, and an extended exhale through the mouth. If you ever have allergies or anything, you can just modify as necessary. A second breath in through the nose, a nice pause at the top, and an exhale through the mouth. See if on this third one you can elongate that exhale even more. So at any time you have your breath in your pocket, and taking a few full satisfying breaths can drop you into the present moment. And then beginning to notice what you're working with here. So what do I mean? I mean, what kind of animal has arrived on your cushion today, right? We have different days, different experiences. It can feel very different minute to minute, hour to hour. So first, just noticing the physical sensations of your body in this moment. I like to think of this almost like a spelunker in a cave. Turning the spotlight on inside, within. Noticing how you're feeling emotionally today. And then taking a peek at the state or quality of your mind. And again, in this spirit of our theme today of going inward to find calm, the question is, has your mind been on repeat, or does it feel vast and open, or something else altogether? Take a peek there. And then going through the 5 lenses, and we'll sort of zoom through, but this is another tool you have in your toolbox, right? To simply, again, notice what's going on in an effort to connect with the calm that's always there. So first, noticing any sense of sight, your vision. Depth, light, shadow. Moving down to your sense of smell and noticing scent in your room. Your sense of taste and the places that are wet or dry. And then noticing sound. You might be hearing my dog in the background or something in your own background. And rather than trying to push away sound, noticing and allowing it to just be, to be in the present moment like a cloud in the sky. And then finding a very close sound, perhaps even within. And then finally beginning to notice the air on your skin. And I like to think of this like a blanket all around me and noticing how it feels different where there's clothing on skin or hair on skin. So the place that we get stuck, the places where we get stuck, is that we think things should be calm. But the life around us is going to always be chaotic. From pets to parents to friends to work to the larger global sense of what's going on in the world, that's the part that we have to learn how to create space so that we can respond instead of react. And the way that we do that is through the practice of meditation itself. You can't control the chaos, but you can control your response to it. So taking a full satisfying breath and noticing the breath cycle. There is an inhale, a little pause at the top, an exhale, and then a pause before the next inhale. Place your attention right there. Notice the cycle of your breath. Yung Pueblo says, sometimes we feel like exploding, not because of anything or to hurt anyone, but simply because we are growing, releasing, letting the old parts die so that new habits, new ways of being have space to live. So how do we do that? For about 2 minutes, we're going to place our attention specifically on the space after the exhale and before the next inhale. And when you notice that your mind wanders, that's totally fine. Come back to this very specific place in the breath cycle after the exhale and before the next inhale. If it helps, you can place your attention specifically right underneath the nostrils. What does that space after the exhale and before the next inhale feel like? 2 minutes. And then we're going to sort of quote unquote come back out the way that we went in. So again, just noticing the air on your skin. I was in a dust storm this week, right? So perhaps the air on your skin in this moment is very calm or even soothing, but how quickly it could be hot or ferocious. Noticing sound. Is the sound pleasant or not? And when it's unpleasant, can you continue to just be? This touchstone of it's okay. Instead of getting ripped out of your experience with dislike. Noticing that leftover taste in your mouth of coffee or tea or something else. Noticing that scent in your room or the absence of scent, and thinking of the times that an unpleasant scent has come into your space, and does it rip you out of your experience? And then that field of vision, the light, the shadow. Sometimes we feel like exploding, not because of anything or to hurt anyone, but simply because we are growing, releasing, letting the old parts die so that new habits, new ways of being have space to live. Taking another full, satisfying breath and just feeling how the breath can soothe the body. So, in the spirit of our theme today, going inward to find calm, it's these tools and techniques, satisfying full breaths the way that you like them, soothing your nervous system by extending the exhale, noticing what's going on with your body, your emotions, and your mind. Allowing that to be seen, felt, and heard without judgment. Going through the five senses, this immediate experience of your present moment. Realizing that the thoughts that come with these five inputs are just that, they're thoughts. You can touch them lightly, not grasping on as the ultimate truth. And then spending time in meditation and working with that space after the exhale and before the next inhale, the calm point of a meditation practice. It might not always feel that way, but the potential is right there at your fingertips. And then we'll take a moment, and if it feels right, you can place a hand or two over your heart space, and we'll dedicate the merit of our practice. May all beings experience a moment of calm today in the chaos. The chaos will always be there. But the good news is that we have connection to the calm by going inward. And when you're ready, wiggling fingers, maybe taking a stretch. So next week, we will go back to Mondays at 9 a.m. And I think the third theme is something about creativity. I hope that's right. But if not, it'll be something fun and interesting. And in the meantime, please join us for community meditation because that's where the magic is. Thank you so much for being here.